Morning. Happy Hump Day. It is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. I'm wearing my headset today because I'm being blessed with people, lawn maintenance people outside the Hartley Center today doing work on the trees. Whenever they're out there, I get all a little bit anxious about where are the hummingbird nests? Like, they're so tiny. Would you be able to see them before you chop that limb down? So I just bless all of nature and trust that little hummingbirds are being held and all of the creatures out there who are living in those trees that are being trimmed for us humans, that they are safe and loved and that they know they're loved. So blessings, nature, while you undergo your manicure for the day. Good morning. Happy Hump Day. I'm Valerie Shepard, Dr. Valerie Renee Shepard, founder and CEO of the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And we teach that self-mastery is mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. Doing an exhale because my heart is full, and I've heard from a couple of people who've asked me these very poignant questions about how can I even contemplate, let alone be happy? How can I think about my own happiness? How can I think about creating a space within me that is for joy and peace and love and freedom when out there are atrocities happening, atrocious things are happening? And I put in the little blurb today, like, what is going on in our world? The things that continue to happen that are devastating communities and families and individuals because some people haven't learned how to elevate themselves, how to make themselves feel better in their own lives without blaming and shaming and taking it out on other people, like taking others down in order to elevate oneself. Like, I will feel better when you people stop whatever it is you're doing. I will have less anxiety when you figure out how to give me more peace, when you give it to me, when you do something or stop doing something, when you do something or you stop doing something, then I'll be okay. Then I can, like, yabba dabba do, yay for me. I'll be okay then. I have been that person in my own life. I have been that being who sought her own solace by imagining other people being crushed under the weight of my blame, under the weight of my victim mentality. I have these really cute old earrings on that are antique, used to belong to my mom. I rarely ever wear them because they're orange, and I don't always wear orange. And I didn't intend to have these headset on today, but like I said, it's noisy out there. Maybe I'll take it off in a minute. So I wore what I wore today because I wanted to talk about butterflies. I wanted to talk about what I've been seeing a lot of lately is the butterfly and the dynamic of metamorphosis and the activation of dying in one place in order to have birth in another. And I sat down at my desk, and that's not what's coming through. So I'm going to honor what's here right now. And what's here right now is a heaviness. And it's a mixture. If I feel into it, it's a mixture of despair, like deep sadness. There's some anger, but that recedes. Anger is often thought of as the empowered side of sadness and hurt. Like it's too much for us to feel weak and impotent. And so when sadness and hurt get really heavy, then what can come out is anger, because that gives an individual the idea that they are bigger than the hurt, that they can actually survive the hurt, that they are empowered in spite of the hurt. So I have a cocktail of feelings, and sadness is a very big one. Devastation, there's like a desolation, an empty space. So I encourage and invite you to check in on your feelings, not your talking about them, not the way you can mentalize what's really going on inside you, how you feel what's going on inside you. Like I feel a heaviness. I feel my shoulders slump. I feel my heart sort of cave in on itself, like the weight of what is going on around me in the world today. My fear about the hummingbirds. And then mixed with another mass shooting of children, shooters who are so mixed up and disconnected from their divinity, from the oneness, disconnected from possibility, disconnected from positivity, disconnected from like the 1,000 things that could be better to do than blow up people, than annihilate others. So disconnected from their hearts and who they really are. Like, this is not about, do they believe the right thing in dogma? Do they believe the right thing in religion? Are they following the right political party? Fuck that. It's not about that. This is about individual people knowing who the heck they are, knowing what they really are, and using that as a source for their decision making about who they're going to be in the world, who they're going to be to their neighbors, who they're going to be to the children, who they're going to be to the sick, to the disabled. Who are you being when you think you're being you? Who are you being? What's going on in you that would allow you to be atrocious and consider that it is what has to be done? How are we caring for the people in our society who are lost to themselves? Not lost to us, lost to themselves. Lost to themselves. And how do we help them reconnect? How do we help them know who they are? How do we help them discern when they're on a path that is indefensible, when they're on a path that can't sustain life, their life or anyone else's? When they've drunk Kool-Aid that is poisonous, and they think the other person must die, and they don't know that they're already dead. So if you're watching the replay, #replay, tell me what you're thinking. What are you feeling? How's it going for you? While I wipe my nose. So today's Hump Day Happy Chat, hashtag Hump Day Happy Chat, morphed. Right as I sat down, a different energy came in and said, you have to help people heal. That's what I'm all about anyway. But today in particular, because of what's going on out there in the world, there are two things I would love to let you in on. So, self-mastery, mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. So exquisitely manage would include your feeling of your own separation, your feeling of your own devastation, your confusion over what's the truth and what's fiction, what is some kind of doctrine that some kind of people are spewing that somehow has me caught up in it, and something doesn't feel right. Like, what is it that has me on this path of separation? What are the constructs of separation that are alive and well in me? How am I making the others, the not okay, the not lovable, the not smart, the not worthy, the not precious, the not beautiful, the not of me? How am I othering people? And where is that coming from within me? And is it real or true? And remembering that just because I believe it doesn't make it true. It makes it true for me. So what you have heard, what you read in my book, what you've heard in my Hump Day Happy Chats, what you've seen when I speak, is that I'm very authentic and real about, yeah, there were places where what I was believing was true wasn't real in the world. It was just true for me. That doesn't make me wrong or bad. It just means that I had to write my understanding. I had to write my experience of myself. Many blessings. Thank you for being here. So self-mastery is about being willing to look in the dark crevices, like under the armpit, behind the ear, like wash in the dark places in you, in me, and say, wait, I've turned into a mean, angry person. And I don't like myself as a mean, angry person. And I'm tired of othering others. I want to close the distance between our hearts. I have on my lampshade here, God is never closer than when the space between two hearts narrows. Bink! Narrows. God is never closer. The divine, if you don't espouse the belief in an individual entity as a higher power, I don't care. I'm not here to convert you. I'm here to share perspective that may help you journey through this thing called life with all the stuff in it. So the question, I don't want to, well, I do like preaching. I believe I'm a social minister, so I'm here to preach some stuff. So hang on to your hats because it's coming through me today. And like I said, this wasn't what I intended. So I'm just surrendering. It's kind of scary. I feel vulnerable. So we get to read about, talk about, and try to understand, try to fathom another mass shooting. How can I be happy when I'm feeling so sad, when I'm feeling so devastated, when I'm feeling so vulnerable, when I'm feeling such fear, when I'm feeling such perturbation? How can, like, what, like, how can we talk about being happy in the midst of that? So I'm gonna offer you two things that I do when the devastation and despair seems to seems to be overtaking me. When the devastation and despair seems to be overtaking me. There are two tools, and I teach these a lot, and these are really go-tos for me. So number one is from Heart Math, which is a real thing. It's a scientific study, a scientific approach to life using the heart as your guidance tool, even superseding your powerful brain, the Institute of Heart Math. So Heart Math, in the study of Heart Math, and I've been following Heart Math for, almost 20 years now. It's old. Not exactly the science that they bring to life, but the study of the heart, the even belief in the heart as harboring its own intelligence, as being a seat of intelligence within the human self. Goes back to the ancient Greeks, the Mesopotamians, the Babylonians, believed in heart intelligence. So it's ancient. But there's also modern science. A gentleman by the name of Doc Childra, who is the founder of the Institute of Heart Math, which is in Boulder Creek, California, has produced scientific evidence to back up heart intelligence, this theory. Corporations, big corporations, Hewlett Packard, Motorola, and others, 4 branches of the United States military, fire departments, school systems all over the country make use of the principles and practices underneath heart intelligence, known as heart math, in order to teach employees how to become more mentally and emotionally balanced, to provide individual and group, collective, organizational tools, tips, practices, and support for being emotionally balanced, for transforming what is maybe difficult, maybe ugly, maybe hurtful, into something more peaceful, more peaceful, more physiologically neutral. So one of the things that I do and that I teach is a heart soak or a heart lock-in. Like a heart soak is about taking the troubled pieces, the bits of you that are feeling the trouble and can't get out of it, to take it into the wisdom of your heart. We're not talking about romance. We're talking about the wisdom of the heart, the scientific communication ability and guidance ability of the heart. Scientific studies have proven that the heart communicates with the body and the brain on a number of different levels, and that there are neurons thought of only to be in the brain, but the heart has its own, and that there are more in the heart. The heart sends neurological information to the brain and the rest of the body. There's data even that says that the heart is formed before the brain starts forming in the body. The heart sends signals through the pulse. It communicates on a biochemical level. There are a number of ways. And so your heart is a way that you can bring yourself back into neutrality in the midst of difficult things that are taking you way out of yourself. It's not going to automatically make you happy. The happiness is there alongside the despair. What this will do is to help you quiet that sense that this is going to overwhelm you. So the heart soak, here are the techniques. Always is starting with breathing. A few deep breaths just to allow yourself to come home to your body, to turn your third eye inward, to allow yourself to recede behind your eyes, Take your consciousness inside. It's an interior experience of you. When you settle in, you allow yourself to call up the upset. So you can do it with me right now. As you settle in, allow yourself to call up whatever your upset is. For me, it's fear, it's hurt, it's sadness, it's disbelief, it's anger. All of this cocktail, a mix, a soup that's pulling me away from my higher self and into this place of human devastation. And I allow myself to feel it. So you allow yourself to feel it. You call yourself into an awakened, aware state of the devastation, of the hurt. You allow yourself to feel them. They're just waves of energy. You don't have to become them. That's a conscious choice that you make. So with the waves of energy, you then go to your heart, the power of the heart to give unconditional love. And you let that overtake, and you imagine it swallowing up the hurt and the pain. You envelop it like a warm blanket from an angel, like the angel's wings enfolding the hurt and the pain, and you in that hurtful, pained state. And you soak. You allow it to soak. And you allow it to be in the space of the divine is everywhere present. I am one with all that is. The power of love is the highest power in the universe. I am a force for good. I am strength, love, and light. I am a beacon for peace. My presence allows peace and love to flow wherever I am. I am held in love. All is held in love. So I can feel what was this larger feeling of upset receding. It's not completely gone yet, but I feel the peace changing in ratio. So the higher ratio of upset is receding into a higher ratio of peace. So that's a heart lock-in or a heart soak. The other thing that I really love doing is the indigenous approach to healing and to forgiveness called the Ho'oponopono. So this is an ancient practice said to have originated in Hawaii. It gained prominence when it was reported on in a number of places, but a book called No Limits and which reported on a doctor, psychiatrist named Hew Len. Hew is his first name. Len is his last name. And why did it become famous? Because he used this and only this technique to heal people in a ward, a hospital for the criminally insane. This technique healed them all, gave peace to the staff, transformed himself. Here's a quote that Dr. Len says about Ho'oponopono. No one wanted the job I did with the criminally insane. No one. They were averaging about one psychologist a month. But then I got asked. We had about 25 to 30 people. Half of them would be in shackles at the ankles or the wrists because they were dangerous. They could either kick you or slam you. Everyone would walk with their back toward the wall so that they wouldn't get struck. No one could leave the building. A year and a half later, there was none of that. There were people going out on bus rides. Nobody was in shackles. The level of medication dropped. What did I do? I worked on myself. I took 100% responsibility. That's a quote by Dr. Hew Len, who's with the Shamanic Wisdomkeepers today. So on the surface, Ho'oponopono is sort of misunderstood. People think it's just this mantra. I just say these words, I repeat them over and over, and that's the end of it. It's like a technique for cleansing or something. Some people think it's Buddhist. It's just something like that. It's been defined as forgiveness. It's a reconciliation. I use it as a reconciliation practice. And the reconciling that I'm doing is, I know even this morning that there were thoughts inside me and there was a conjurer, a negative conjurer, storytelling in my head of hateful, hurtful, mean, unloving things. Do you know this conjurer inside you? Who are you being when you think you're being you? Maybe you're doing the conjurer version of you that isn't the real you, but you don't know it because you're not paying attention. Self-mastery is being aware of how you conjure things, how you get a little thread and make it mean something that it doesn't necessarily mean. That doesn't make you bad or wrong. It just means you're not serving yourself. When you don't serve yourself, you're not serving the planet. You create the separation that creates the identity that can create real bad things, real atrocious behaviors, real atrocious things out of our mouths, real atrocious ways of being. And it's waking up to the fact that I'm conjuring. So the reconciliation of Ho'oponopono is with us. It's within us. It's within you. As Dr. Len said, I worked 100% on myself, and I took 100% of responsibility for whatever these patients had done, for whatever was going on in the world. I took responsibility. It is a very dynamic practice to consider, right? Consider that something that happened way over there when I wasn't even alive, I could have some responsibility for. It requires an understanding of the quantum nature of the universe, of the quantum and metaphysical nature of consciousness. It doesn't exist just linearly. It exists as a hologram. It exists as a 3D experience. It exists as a multiverse. So in one place in time, I may have been the perpetrator. And in another place in time, I am the victim. And Ho'oponopono is a practice that allows us to recognize that dualism is in this individual, and I will take responsibility. I don't have to go into the details of it. I don't have to put myself on trial. I don't believe in self-flagellation. I don't have to beat myself up. I have to go into a loving place and release it through the work of forgiveness, the dance of forgiveness, forgiveness and reconciliation. So here are some things that have been written about Ho'oponopono. It's a cleansing of errors of thought. So remember that when I said negative conjurer, I build myself up by taking someone else down or taking them out. I make myself feel worthy. I make myself feel present. I make myself feel important. I make myself feel so special as to be irreplaceable. But I do that by taking someone else down or someone else out. Errors of thought. The origins of problems and sickness in the physical world are from errors of thought. Now, this is a Hawaiian worldview. It is also in certain African indigenous cultures a worldview. It is also a part of a worldview within the indigenous American culture and indigenous cultures across the world, that the sickness of the mind creates the problems and sickness that manifest in the physical world, 3D world. It's not new. The literal translation of Ho'oponopono is to put to right. So we have errors in thinking that we're acting out in our physical beingness, and Ho'oponopono allows us to put it to right, to put it in order or shape, to correct, to revise, to adjust, to amend, to regulate, to arrange, rectify, tidy up, make orderly or neat. Discord, smooth it out. That's what we're doing with Ho'oponopono. So you may have heard me, if you look in my Hump Day Happy Chats, there's probably another one where I do the Ho'oponopono. There's another one where I chant the Gayatri Mantra, which is also an ancient mantra used to smooth out the rough edges of life inside me, transform my energy so that I carry less anger, hurt, guilt, shame, blame, fear. All of that energy gets tidied up. Errors of thinking. I'm not enough. I'm unworthy. I'm unlovable. I'm inadequate. I don't know how. I can't. And the worst of all, I'm a victim of their bad behavior. So Ho'oponopono is very simple. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And the way that I teach it and do it with people is you individually call up situations. So call up a situation where you have felt harmed by something or someone. Allow yourself to feel it, just like we did in the heart soak. Allow yourself to feel that energy of being harmed. And then say the Ho'oponopono mantra twice. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And then you can bring up something where you feel you might have harmed yourself. So errors of thinking can harm us. It can show up in all kinds of things that are a part of our lives. And we have to wake up to see that actually the error is coming from inside me to the outside world. And according to laws of attraction, reflection, laws of karma, law of reciprocity, the outside world is going to show me me. So you call that in. How have I harmed myself? I've been really angry lately. I've been feeling a lot of mean thoughts, and it's got me all ratcheted up and feeling really pointed at something. Like I want to weaponize my anger or my frustration or my sadness. I want to weaponize it. And that harms me. And so you say the Ho'oponopono, allow myself to feel how I'm harming myself. And then I say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And then bring up ways that we are upset about things going on in the world. Whether it's a war halfway across the world or a mass shooting down the street. Human trafficking, children starving, the earth crying for help, the gap between the haves and the have-nots growing, the construct of white supremacy and what it's doing to non-white peoples across the earth. Whatever the larger body of trouble that's inside you that you're recognizing as harmful to you, to those you love, to the world, you call up your feelings around that. You allow yourself to feel it, and then you bring in the healing practice of Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you keep repeating this wherever that you feel upset. And if it's a big upset, you might have to repeat the mantra 10 times. You might have to. And the whole idea is that in the act of being in the mantra is doing its work in you. I'll say that again. In the act of consciously choosing to be in the mantra is consciously doing its work of love, reconciliation, dismantling within you. I encourage and invite you as many times a day as you deem necessary and appropriate to separate out some time for you to go into these two heart-based practices, into these two practices of reconciliation, of righting errors in thinking, of smoothing out the rough edges in your life, of taking you back into peace so that you can better deal with the lack of peace around you. It's not to get into a space where you're a Pollyanna pretending there's nothing wrong. It's a higher level. It's a non-third dimension level action of bringing more of heaven, the peace of heaven, into this earth. It's about making yourself, thank you, Jennifer Huff and the Wide Awakening. It's about making yourself heaven on earth. It's like creating inside you the peace of heaven, even while you deal with the heaven-less aspects of life in the third dimension called Earth. Let me just check in and see if more wants to come through right now. So the invitation is, if we want more peace in the world, it only happens by creating in the individuals in the world, however many billion of us there are today, 7.5, creating in the individuals in the world, more of them, more of the time, more peace. More peas. Eat more peas. And your own healing changes the planet. Your own healing changes every space you plant your energy. So it's worth it to you, and it's worth it to everyone around you, that you learn to live in the space of higher vibration. I hope you'll help me create a ripple effect of this message, the heart math practice, the Ho'opono practice, by sharing this video and helping others see that you can feel deep sadness for what's going on in the world at the same time as feeling gratitude and happiness for who you're being to help transform what that is in the world, for bringing more peace and love and joy and emotional freedom into you as a beingness so that you can spread that into the world. And I usually close the Hump Day Happy Chat with the Karanaya Metta Sutra, which is the prayer of loving kindness from the Buddha. But right now I'm feeling something slightly different, so I'm going to do that. This is a song that I sing with the grandmothers. May all the beings in all the realms be happy. May all the beings in all the realms be happy. May all the beings in all the realms be happy. Peace, peace, peace. Many blessings. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dr. Valerie Renee Shepherd, signing off of the Hump Day Happy Chat. Bye now.